So your ABS light came on and the buzzing sound happened. Don't worry, we'll do a quick fix under $100. Last video you guys saw that my ABS light came on, my brakes failed again, and they stopped working. One major cause of that issue is typically the motor. The motor that goes underneath here that helps the actuator fill up pressure and then, you know, make the whole system work. You know, most people, and I recommend it too, is just go ahead and replace the whole unit. I mean, it could get anywhere from, I think, like $1,400 up to $2,000 for the whole unit, and that includes the motor, everything, computer, all that. But I know a lot of people, you know, are in a tight bind, or you you just need to get out of a situation just to get your brakes back, and you don't want to, maybe don't want to spend that type of money at that right moment. So I'm hoping that it's just the motor, because I'm not noticing any leaks underneath or any corrosion underneath in the area. So I don't think it's leaking, so there's no problems with leaking. I mean, eventually it could leak just because of the mileage and the age of the vehicle. It's a 98. But what I want to do first is shoot my shot and just replace the motor, which I picked up on Amazon, and I'll put the information of the motor on the description below if you want to pick it up on my Amazon store. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that this $100 fix gets me out of the bind, gets me on the road, especially if you're maybe you know, you're in the, traveling or anything like that. You need to just, don't have time to spend, or don't have the money to spend, $2,000 or so, and you just want to get out and get back home, or whatever the case may be. So this just under $100 on Amazon. Again, I'll put the description information on the description below. To my Amazon store. Obviously I get compensated on anything you buy on my Amazon store. So let's go ahead and show you the motor. It comes with an O-ring and a seal. Then you have your motor right here. As you can see, there will only be 2 screws to mount it onto your unit, and then you have 2, a positive and a negative ground right here, and then obviously you have your seal that goes here, and and then obviously the O-ring. I'm assuming the O-ring might go right there. There is a piece in your old unit that I forgot the name of it, but it falls into place, so you have to make sure you don't drop that or lose that when you do this. Best thing to do, I guess, would be removing your air charcoal canister to access this. But this one actually goes like, I want to say it goes just like this. Goes just like this, so both screws are going to be on this side, and the only time you ever need access on this side would be to remove the unit, the motor, and to put the motor back in. I don't think it makes a huge difference if you remove this, because everything that you're going to need to access is going to be on this side, and on this side you might just have to remove the connectors to the unit right here, just to kind of move the harness out of the way. But you're not going to need access to it from this side right here. So I'm going to try to do this. I saw this on YouTube. This guy just did it in the parking lot, and I'm hoping I could do the same thing right here in my driveway. So it's going to be hard to show you guys everything, but I'm going to try to show you. There's one thing it didn't come with is new Allen bolts, so I guess we'll reuse the old ones. But there's 2 Allen bolts, number 5s on this side. We're gonna first and foremost, I'm gonna disconnect this, so I don't want to be dealing with that while I'm under there. So disconnect the power and ground. Obviously what I recommend is disconnect your ground from the vehicle. You don't have to, but anytime you're working with electronics, highly recommend disconnecting your negative on your battery. So what we're going to do is take out these Phillips screws on like this off the motor over here. We're gonna, I think there's a bracket right here. So it's not gonna be easy, it's gonna be tough in there, but I'm gonna try to go step by step. Can't videotape all of it because again, it's far in there. So we're gonna go ahead and start this process. All right, first thing I'm gonna wanna do is remove the plugs to the power source right here. So I could get this harness and I'd be able to have access to the bottom of the motor. So just unplug these. Pretty simple. Okay, then unplug this one right here. Just like that. So that you can move this harness over so you have access to the bottom. Again, I disconnected the battery before doing any of this. We're gonna grab our ratchet and our 5mm or number 5 Allen wrench and try to get to the bolts, 2 bolts on this side. All right, got it. Loosened it up. Nice. Okay. Now loosen up the front one. And it's not tight at all. Make sure you don't drop it, especially if it doesn't come with extra ones. Front one, they're this big, so you know not to drop them. Put them in a magnetic tray. You actually can see the rear one from in between the top side. So again, don't drop it, especially if they don't supply extra ones. I think wearing gloves, rubber gloves, or these type of mechanic gloves come in handy before I open my mouth. As I said, it comes in handy with having rubber gloves so you don't drop your bolts. Right, the only other step next is to remove it and to remove the harness from it. I don't know how they did it. The other guy did it because the screws are actually facing upwards. So there's a little dust cap, and I might have to take my gloves off to make my hand a little smaller. So there's a little rubber cap over the top, and they get corroded. And they look kind of corroded. But I'm hoping that I'm able to remove the motor and try to figure out those 2 screw heads. Because they're facing upwards, unless I'm able to do something like this and loosen them up instead of having to take out the module here. Again, we're limited on space just because we're not removing the whole unit. You might have to get like a little mirror to have, so you can have visual on it. Let's get this harness out the way. And that fits. loosened it up. And there is some corrosion on the screws, and I'll show you once I'm able to take them off. The easiest way I found to do it was break it with the ratchet and then just use this. If you have like one of the little ratchet small stubbies, it might work. But I dropped my hand this way, and this is what the screws look like. Let's see if it focus. You can see there's been some water, so the motor might work. It's just, you know, the moisture and everything gets underneath there and might cause it to fail, and or the connections are not working because they're not clean. But because we're already halfway through this removal, might as well replace the motor. Obviously the motor is attached to the housing, so I'm going to give it a little tap in the crack, if I could reach it. And there's a little thing in the middle, so make sure you don't drop it. If you do, make sure to know where it fell, and keep a magnet handy. I already separated it, but there is a bracket in the back side of it. Okay, so it's loose. I just gotta figure out how to remove it from the bracket on the back side of it. All right, drop the motor. Oh, it fell on the floor. Alright. This is a little thing that you want to make sure you don't drop or lose. So you need this. Keep this in mind. Don't lose this. Just like that. All right, let's examine it. How old is this? I don't know. Is it original Toyota? I can't tell. But, well, maybe. I wonder if there's a Toyota number in here. But as you can see, I think it left behind, and we'll match it with the other one. Gasket's already kind of dying out, so maybe some moisture got in there as well. This doesn't come off, as you can see. Well, actually it does. That might have been an easier way to disconnect this and then keep this and use this again. Oh, but the other one doesn't disconnect. So let's compare it. So here you have it, both of them compared side by side. This piece is probably back in there still. So we got to figure out how to put this in, mount it. Then what you want to do is a little round thing I saw that I showed you. You have to make sure it stays in here. So we have to maybe put a piece of tape. Then we have to make sure that we don't drop it while we're put it in there. And then the gasket too. Probably put some grease so it sticks and stays on. So here is the piece that was in there in that lower bracket. It's a piece of rubber, so I'm thinking when you put it in, you go this way and then you go in and then put it up and it will fall into place, because this is rubber, so you don't have to remove that bracket that a lot of people asked in the other guy's video. So go ahead and show you how we're going to install it, reinstall it, and see if it starts, and hopefully the ABS lights, the motor works, obviously new, and hopefully the ABS light goes away. One tip is that the way you pull this one out, see this little, the little tab right there? That's the same way you want to face this one, so that it falls right into place. So when you get this little thing here, it's going to be the same as this and this, so that you drop this in and it's going to go in like that. So the other one in on the body of the housing, it should fall right into this little groove right there. So you're not changing anything, you're just adjusting it so that it matches this and here. So now what we're going to do is I don't know where you need an O-ring from. Not sure where this O-ring goes. I'm assuming inside. I'm assuming in here, because I don't see one here and I don't see one anywhere else. But obviously this does go this way, like this, and we're going to put some grease to keep it in place so that it doesn't move around on us. I don't see an O-ring in here, so not sure where this added O-ring goes, and I don't think I've seen a video of anybody. You guys let me know. I don't think I'm going to install it or put it in here because it's, I mean, it might fit, and it might push it in. It might help with moisture. Maybe a reason why this one failed, but I don't think so. I don't see anything here, so I might just end up taking it out or trying to do some more research to see if this actually goes in here. So I'll let you know before we go ahead and install it. Okay, so I couldn't find a video that shows the O-ring, but I did drop it into there. I put some grease. I'm going to put a little bit more grease so that, you know, it sticks on to the housing here so that this doesn't shift back and forth, makes it easier to install. So just put a little bit more grease, keep this flat, and then we'll slide it back in. The only thing I have to do is make sure that we put this little piece here inside, like that. Make sure it has to go in between. It has to be there before you put it into the housing. So we're gonna put some electric tape holding it in place, and then maybe I could remove it once it falls in. Once I get it into place, it don't have to be too much. All right, let's go ahead and go at it. The seal moved, so we have to adjust it. Watch yourself. I'm gonna adjust it and put it on, and I'll show you guys after. All right, so a lot of you are gonna say it was just probably been easier just to take the whole thing out, and it probably was. But again, I want to show somebody that didn't want to have to take all this off and didn't want to have to bleed their brakes or take the whole evap canister out. Okay. Tips. I got it in. Put in, you're gonna have to, the motor goes in obviously horizontally, so you have to, you know, pull it up in, hang it onto the bracket first. Make sure you're not dropping that little round thing I showed you. Then make sure that the gasket is in position for the screws to go into. So, and you have to make sure that you bring it in, put it onto the bracket, and then start lifting it up. Put your hand on this side and this side this way where you could get it into position. Once it falls into place in that little groove in the little circle or the little thing, it will fall right into place. And then you do that, just put your bolt in, tighten it up. I tighten up one halfway the back, one halfway, one a little bit there, a little bit back. Sorry. I tightened up the back a little bit, then the front, and back and forth until I got an even can't even think. It's just, I'm out. This is actually exhausting. It wasn't hard, but it was just exhausting. Until you get evenly tighten it. There you go. So now I'm just gonna have to put the power and ground back in, connect our module, and put our power and ground, connect our module, and then put our ground back, and then we're gonna have to see if it cycles and it fills up this right here. I can't even think again. And yeah, let's put the power and ground. How I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna get the screws that it came with, just get one of these, take this off and just tighten it by hand, and then tighten it, and this should be it. I'll show you guys once I'm done. Got those 2 screws in, power and ground, connected my plugs back in that were the harness that was in my way. This one, I think that's it. Just gotta fix this harness right here, but we're gonna go ahead and tighten up our ground again. All right, so there's no pressure. Obviously, I'm gonna have to change this out. As you can see, it's super dark, so we'll work on that next. But you're supposed to build pressure, so you turn on the car, and then it takes a while for the motor to kick over. Once it builds pressure, then we should be good. Hopefully, cross my fingers. ABS is still on. We have to wait, see if it builds pressure. Don't hear it yet. It kicked on. But the ABS is still on, so we'll just wait. You can see it. It's functioning. And let it build up. And let's hopefully ABS light is off and this is done and we're ready to go. And you can tell the line, it was at max, now it's dropping down below it, so that means it's circulating the oil through. And before it wasn't, obviously the motor wasn't working, so it wouldn't come on, but now at least it's coming on. It's crazy, the system that the Toyota uses. Yeah, buddy, no more ABS light on. Let's go check it out. Automatically shuts off. Oh, we got brakes. Alright, we got brakes. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this installation of the ABS motor, just under $100. I'm going to put that information on the description below. Pretty simple. Again, put your seal on, put your O-ring on. When you go ahead and put this in, go in like this without dropping your little circle thing. You know what I'm talking about. Make sure this is lined up to like the old one. Go in, put it in, and when you go in, go like this and find the right spot for it to sit flush. Put your bolts on, put your power and ground, and you're all set. Scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say this is a 7 or maybe an 8, 7 or 8, just because of the time consuming, the restriction of the work area. We'll probably give it between a 7 and an 8. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was somewhat helpful. Hopefully you saved yourself for the time being $1,400, $1,500, $2,000 and just spend $100 and do it yourself. So thanks for watching, hit a subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.